refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Zero Sports Talk. I'm Zero Griffey, and it's part 2 time of the World Cup preview. And this is the fun part. This is where the big dogs come out. The big stars are going to get mentioned. The favorites, obviously, are going to get mentioned. For some reason, they're in groups G to L, so we'll see how the format works in that situation. But man, there's going to be a lot to talk about in this part of the show. So let's get started. And I'm going to get started, obviously, where I left off. It's Group G. It's Belgium. Let's get into it. Belgium has made consistent tournament appearances for a decade now. They finished third in 2018, and they were disappointed in 2022, not making it out of the group stage. Their most dominant era could be coming to an end, with key players like Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku going toe-to-toe with Father Time and the injury bug. But all hope is not lost for Belgium, though, as they can still dominate this group with young legs and experience such as Aston Villa's Amadou Onana, Man City's Jeremy Doku, one of the best dribblers in the world, honestly. I remember watching a couple of Man City's games. I like how he plays. And of course, veteran goalkeeper again, I'm gonna mess up a lot of these names. Thibault Courtis. They'll be managed by Rudy Garcia, that has extensive history coaching in France, Italy, and also Saudi Arabia. Belgium, I think they drew kind of a good group in this situation after not making it out last time in the World Cup. This group seems a lot more fitting for them to like at least make it out of this stage, especially in the biggest World Cup of all time. Another group stage exit is just way too disappointing for a team that just 2 World Cups ago almost made it to the finals, made it to the podium third. So looking forward to what Belgium has later on in this World Cup. Next, we're going to talk about Egypt. Now, this is only their 4th World Cup appearance, their first since 2018. They've never made it out of the group stage. But they've been on the rise for some time now, mainly because they have one of the best players in the world. And this is one of the first stars I'm going to talk about, Mohamed Salah. Some call him cocky, some say he's confident, says he has too much of an ego, but he can ball. There's no doubt about it. Easily the most influential player in Egypt's history, winning the Premier League Golden Boot, a Champions League title with Liverpool, having 61 international goals while helping Egypt compete in the AFCON campaigns and the World Cup qualifying matches. He is as confident as any player in this tournament can be, and the spark to help a new African powerhouse rise. He is also joined up front by young Man City striker Omar Marmoush, who should get plenty of chances to score goals. They are managed by former player Hassan, who has experience coaching in Egypt's Premier League and also coach Jordan's national team. This, I'll say, is a fun team to like look at, to watch, to see what they do. I feel like a lot of the African teams in this World Cup have a chance to rise and surprise a lot of people. So looking forward to what Egypt has to do, especially since they got pound for pound the best African player in the tournament. So we'll see what they do. Iran has made it. They made their seventh appearance. Most people probably don't know they have been a consistent qualifier for over a decade. Since 2006. They only missed the 2010 World Cup. Unfortunately, in their previous six appearances, they have not made it out of the group stage. Don't think it's going to change this time around either. Um, we'll see. It's I wouldn't say this is a tough group to make it out. That's why I gave Belgium, like, spoiler alert, they're going to be like the number one in my opinion. They can shock some people, but they're going to have some work to do. When they face the Belgium, when they face Egypt, that Egypt and Iran match, again, spoiler alert, that's going to be my match to watch. Reason being, I know it should be like Belgium and Egypt in this group. That should be the match to watch because they're expected to be the two teams to advance. But if Iran can pull off an upset on Egypt, they can move on. So we'll see what happens. All in all, I think they're just part of the happy to be here team, not expected to have a long highlight tape. They're led by player Madhi Tarimi of Olympikos FC in Greece and managed by Amir Galeno, New Zealand. Only their third appearance and first since 2010, so 16 years since they made the World Tournament. They did finish undefeated in 2010. They didn't make it out of the group stage, but that's because they tied. They had three draws against Slovakia, Paraguay, and the defending champs Italy. And it's always funny because it's like they're the only undefeated team in World Cup history or something. And like, well, one of the only undefeated teams in World Cup history because they tied three times and didn't even make it out of the group stage. But after 16 years, they return after winning all five of the OFC qualifying matches with like a plus 28 goal differential, which is insane. Only allowing just one goal. So New Zealand actually might be slept on because those numbers are ridiculous. Um, Only allowing one goal, outscoring their opponents by 28 is ridiculous. They are led by Nottingham Forest forward Chris Wood, the country's all-time leading scorer. Their manager is Darren Basley, a developmental coach who helps New Zealand's youth grow for many years, now being called upon to lead their team and to shock the world. Again, another happy to be here team to me. Not much of a highlight tape, although, again, those numbers are insane. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. I like seeing underdogs advance. I said that in the part one. And when I was looking at what New Zealand has done and I saw those numbers, I was like, maybe they can be one of the Cinderellas to shock some people. I don't expect it. The two teams I have advancing are Belgium and Egypt, mostly because I want to see the stars. I want to see Mohamed Salah in this tournament a lot longer than just the group stage. I want to see if Belgium can pull off another run and upset some teams on the way to another, I don't know, semifinal, if that. But now, the moment everybody's been waiting for, Group H. Not much. I wouldn't call it a group of death. Decent group, but they're headlined by the best and probably the favorites, the number one team on like ESPN's power rankings last time I saw it, Spain. Also, fun fact, Spain is a team I root for every World Cup. I don't know why I just fell in love with Spain. I love La Liga, so I've always rooted for Spain in the World Cup. only winning it once. Thankfully, it was in my lifetime in 2010. This is their 17th World Cup appearance, literally a staple in the tournament, a crown jewel. Again, only won it once in 2010, which was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Love that run that they had. But ever since then, and that was like their golden age, they have fallen off. So, not any more impressive history after. Um, they've had a bunch of heartbreak with penalties and everything that got them eliminated in the international stage. But it's a new generation. Um, it has been time to welcome the new ballers of Spain and introducing the first one we're going to talk about, Barcelona's favorite son, Lamine Yamal. And I know even some people who don't watch football don't really do know about Yamal, do know his name. I don't think they know who he is as a player or anything, but he's building a brand for himself that the whole world's going to eventually recognize. Only a teenager. He is Spain's most productive teenager, helping him lead to the Euro 2024 title at the ripe old age of 17 years old. He did that. He contributed both goals and assists to help them win that title. Has a breakout year for Barcelona, finished as runner up for the Ballon d'Or, youngest player to ever do so. And we can go on and on about just a short career where a kid, he's not even legal to drink yet and has done so much so soon in his career. That's why he's talked about a lot. That's why the Spain team is talked about a lot as a favorite. But yeah, that's not the only young star Spain has. Another young Spain player that should be talked about more is Barcelona midfielder Pedri, UEFA Euro 2020 Young Player of the Tournament winner, named to that tournament team, played in the 2022 World Cup, and as a Barcelona fan, I love seeing Pedro play. His dribbling, his ball control is outstanding. Definitely can have the title of best midfielder in the world. There's other midfielders I'm gonna talk about that also can go for that title, but he's still young. He's still getting better and better. And again, new generation of Spain players is looking really good. His dribbling, his passing, his overall game. He will set up players like Yamal. He will set up Nico Williams, who's also in in club. Nico Williams isn't talked a lot about, isn't talked much about. But I feel like on big stage for his country, for Spain, Nico Williams turns into prime Neymar. So him being set up by the likes of Danny Olmo and Pedri, Ferran Lopez, I think it's just gonna build up his confidence even more. And of course, I can't forget about the 2024 Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri, Manchester City's brilliant midfielder with a very large trophy case, and two of the best shot stoppers in Arsenal's David Raya, who put on a hell of a performance in the Champions League against PSG. I watched that game. So impressed with Raya. Great goalkeeper, smart. And of course, Barcelona's goalkeeper, Joan Garcia. We'll see if they try to interchange the two. They're probably two of the best shot stoppers in the world. So not only offense, they got great defense. So I can go on and on about this team. Obviously, I probably already spent the most time talking about Spain than I have any team so far. But they're gonna be fun to watch. I'm gonna be tuned into every game. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be tuned into every game. And La Roja is gonna be managed by Luis de la Fuentes, who did guide Spain's youth team to them winning that Euro 2024 title with Yamal. So some camaraderie and some familiarity there with the young players. They got the coach that pretty much helped manage them to winning a grand trophy. So again, I could go on and on, but I gotta stop. Great Spain team. Can't wait to see them this time around after disappointment since 2010. It's about time they make a real run. Now, it's interesting because we got a country with only half a million people in Cape Verde that has made it to the grand stage as they're making their World Cup debut this year, making it through the CAF qualifiers, finishing atop of Group D ahead of Cameroon, which is impressive. Um, but it's an unknown squad. It's led by Ryan Mendes, the country's all-time leading goal scorer, and managed by Bobista, a former defender for the team who transitioned to coaching after his playing days and has coached them since 2020. Again, I don't know much about this team. I'm gonna be honest. Um, it's just impressive to me they made it this far, so they definitely are gonna be part of the happy to be here team. Uh, not many highlights, but they're definitely the happy to be here team. If they're not, they're the happiest to be here team. A country again with half a million people is like making it to the World Cup is impressive in its own right. And now we're going to talk about a team that shocked the world in 2022 by beating the eventual champions Argentina, and that's Saudi Arabia. They returned for their seventh appearance, making four of the last six tournaments and trying to build on a decent step. Let's say it's a decent step in 2022. Their best finish was the round of 16 in 1994. Of course, there were less teams, obviously, because this is the biggest World Cup ever. Um, but still, very impressive to make it out of a group stage at least once, because a lot of the teams that I'm gonna mention either have never made it out of the group stage, well, basically have never made it out of the group stage or made it to the round of 16. They're led by Salim Al Dwasari, who spent a decade with the club Al Hilal, becoming a multiple time champion in Saudi Arabia's Premier League. Herve Renard is their manager, returning after leading them in 2022 into that impressive win over Argentina. Again, I was shocked, especially when you think about how, well, I'm going to talk about Argentina later, but just saying the circumstances in that tournament, being able to do that was very impressive to me. So we'll see if they can build on that. And Uruguay. This is also a crown jewel, a prestigious World Cup team with a great history, winning the tournament twice. And they are the first ever World Cup winners in 1930. Yes, Uruguay was the first ever World Cup champions. They won it again in 1950. Um, it's obvious. It's obvious now that they're always gonna qualify, and if they don't, it's gonna be a shock to everybody. Just like it's a shock that Italy didn't qualify, and I still can't believe that. But they've done it 15 times. They're a threat every time they are in. They're led by star midfielder for Real Madrid, Federico Valverde, who's won multiple Champions League titles. He's won La Liga multiple times. Um, and he returns for playing for his country. He did it in 2018, 2022. He'll be joined by veteran defenders from Atletico Madrid, Jose Maria Jimenez, and FC Barcelona's Ronaldo Aguario. They will be coached by Marcela Bisla. Basla. Oh man, a former Argentinian manager who took over in 2023. He brings a high intense pressing style to Uruguay's team, which will make them a really good defense in this tournament. Again, and for this group, it's pretty simple. It's gonna be Spain and Uruguay. I got moving on with the game of the group. I mean, the obvious answer is Uruguay, Spain, but I don't know. When there's not as much drama, it's hard to pick a game of the group. I think both teams are gonna move on regardless, so it's hard. I mean, you could throw Saudi Arabia in there as a curveball to like probably knock off one of these two teams, but again, your guy's defense is so good. They got so much pride, prestigious team, and Spain is just a juggernaut from top to bottom. So yeah, I will say Spain and Uruguay games of the are gonna be like the games of the group. Now, from one powerhouse group to an absolute group of death. Yeah, and this is literally a group of death. This is probably one of the best groups with kind of a little thing sticking out there that people are gonna notice, but I'm gonna get to that in the end. Let's talk about this juggernaut group, Group I, Group One, led by France. Another giant has entered the chat, folks. None other than Striker Nation. To me, that's what I call them. That's their nickname. This is Striker Nation. Along with Spain, they're making a staggering 17th appearance in the tournament, winning it twice in '98 and, of course, in 2018. Made the finals in 2022, losing to Argentina. Um, and they have like the greatest striker, one of the greatest strikers. I shouldn't say the greatest because we're going to get to the greatest in a minute. But one of the greatest strikers in the world in Kylian Mbappe, back-to-back UEFA Champions League winner, and current Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele. Again, back-to-back UEFA Champions League with PSG. Dembele. This is why I call him Striker Nation. It doesn't end with just those two, as France attacking power to it's just unlimited. I haven't even mentioned Michael Olise, Antoine Griezmann, Karim Benzema. They can score. They can score with anyone, but it's their depth from top to bottom again, like Spain, that makes them a juggernaut, makes them a favorite. If you don't have them one, you have them two. If you have them two, you probably have Spain one. It's this team is just built to win it all. At all their attackers over the season, when you look at their roster, they've combined for over 200 goals this season alone. But not just their attack, their defense, led by William Saliba, who is part of a suffocating Arsenal defense. That even though PSG won UEFA Champions League, it came down to penalty kicks because it was a 1-1 draw after regular time. And you can tell that PSG had no answers late in the game. They looked like completely lost. They didn't know where to attack. They didn't know where to pass the ball. It looked like they just were killing time, and that's Arsenal's favorite game is killing time. They don't care about possession. You guys can have possession because we're gonna stop you with our defense. And that Arsenal defense was next level, especially against one of the best teams in Europe and PSG. So you got someone who played on that defense, helping France's defense as if they needed more help. They also have Jules Conde, the team. Again, little to no weakness. Jules Conde coming from Barcelona. Um, a complete team, weapons, depth on their roster, the prestige, the star power, the swagger, everything that makes them a must watch in this tournament, a must watch champion. They will be managed by longtime manager Dieter Deschamps, who has managed the team since 2012, led them to the 2018 title. He's one of two managers looking to win multiple World Cups this year. And again, just like Spain, I can go on and on and on about France. I call them Striker Nation for a reason. I still haven't mentioned all their offensive attack power. But I will move on to like Senegal. Again, this is a group of death. So Senegal shouldn't be taken lightly at all. I did talk about Morocco in the last video being the best African team to me, but that title to most people will go to the African People's Champions, Senegal, a powerhouse in Africa, making their fourth appearance. Their best finish was in 2002, making it to the quarterfinals, but they play a physical brand of football. They're going to be a tough out regardless. They can be a nightmare for the big giants. So France being in this bracket, I'm not saying they will be upset, but it's like a really good test for France to play Senegal in this and vice versa in this bracket, and then move on probably to the next phase, and they'll face even more tougher competition. But they are led by all-time leading goal scorer Sadio Mane, a former Serie A Defender of the Year in Kalidou Koulibaly. They are managed by Pepe Thiaw, who led them to their first African Cup of Nations title. So a coach that does know how to win championships has proven it. Right now, they only need to focus on trying to get out of this group. Obviously, most people are picking France to take that one seed, so Senegal can try to get that second seed. and move on. It'll be big. But we're going to talk about the third dog in this group, Norway. A team that just knows how to score goals. They are led by Dragon Ball GT's Super 17, and I think he now goes by the name Erling Haaland. Nah, like seriously, this dude is a genetic freak. If you were to build a striker, it would look just like him. Um, if someone told me he was built in a lab, I wouldn't be shocked. Oh man, and yes, I'm glazing him right now. Rightfully so. This dude is again one of the best strikers in the world. Multiple uh, titles, multiple trophies with Man City. Resume speaks for itself. 6'5", uh, great player, can single handedly carry this Norway team, who I don't think has never made it out of the group stage. He can single handedly carry him out of the group stage. But he does have help. He does have helped. Like he's helped Norway score like 37 goals in only 8 games to get to this point. They only gave up like 5 goals. So that's a ridiculous number in this tournament. This only their first appearance again. Their fourth appearance, my bad. Their fourth appearance. But the first appearance they've had this century, yeah. Since the turn of the century, since Y2K, they've never made the World Cup. Now they got a generational superstar and a generational team. This time around, they make it. And again, like I said, he has help. He has Arsenal's Martin Odegaard, a great midfielder that can create for him. And one of the reasons why they score a lot of goals is the combination of Odegaard and Haaland. It's beautiful. It's beautiful football for Norway. It's a beautiful combination. They also have another big striker in Atletico Madrid's Alexander Sorloth. This team can score. They will outscore you. They will. They will. It will be hard for them to be shut out. There is a lot of good defenses that I talked about in this tournament, but like I said, these guys are genetically just superior. A lot, especially. So good luck trying to stop them. They are managed by Stale Solbakken, and good for him to have Norway's best generational players. By the way, like a great job to have at this point in time. Uh, and now I'm gonna talk about what I said in the beginning. Something sticks out in this group, and like, all right, why is Iraq in this group of death? I do not know. I don't know who decided to put Iraq here. That's pretty unfair. I mean, honestly, if you put any other team besides the powerhouses of the World Cup in this group, it'd be unfair because Norway, Senegal, and France is rough path to try to navigate to try to advance. So unfortunately, I will have to put Iraq in the just happy to be here team. Your highlights will not be long, but a player to watch is Mohamed Ali, a clinical striker that can find a goal at any times. He scored 6 goals in his last 12 appearances. They will be managed by former Australia head coach Graham Arnold. Not much I can say about the team because I don't know it very well. I just know that they might end up, you know what, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But it's not looking good for them in this group. And as I talk about that group of death, I'm going to move on to something that really frustrates me, and that's Group J. I'm not going to lie. What kind of goo goo gaga baby spoon fed group is this? Like, okay, let me start with Argentina. And yes, I said goo goo gaga group, and then I start with the defending champs. You'll see in a second why I said that. The defending champs, um, I honestly feel like they're doing a favor to Messi or something. But like, anyways, let me get to it. They are Argentina makes a remarkable 19th appearance in the tournament, winning 3 times in 78, 86, and again, they're the defending champs. They won in 2022. The defending champs are still stacked, even with their aging superstar Messi looking like he's at the end of the road. He's playing in the MLS, which people call the Burger King League. That's where you go to like just enjoy your years, especially he's because he's in Miami. So he still scores goals. He still plays well. It's not like he's letting himself be out of shape or something like that. He's just like there's so much a veteran at the end of his career can do really, and trying to navigate Europe. I'd probably do what Messi's doing right now and just I'm gonna chill in the MLS. But he is seemed to be joined by his Barcelona successor. It hasn't happened yet, but the rumors are out there, and that young star Julian Alvarez might join Barcelona. But right now, he joins Messi. He is creative. He is versatile. He can move out wide, and great pairing in with Messi up front. Uh, Again, he can learn a lot from Messi too. He's a great player in his own right, even without like Messi helping him out or anything like that. Or he's been great at Atletico Madrid. There's a reason Barcelona really wants him to join their team. And another striker in Inter Milan's Lautaro Martinez. So you can pretty much move Julian Alvarez. Again, he's versatile out wide. Lautaro Martinez can play in the middle. He's coming off a good season in Serie A. Their attack up front is so lethal. It's as lethal as ever in this, especially in this hot dog water of a group. They will easily advance. No questions about it. FIFA's doing their best to make them advance. It's Lionel Messi's final years. I mean, I like Messi. I'm a huge fan of Messi. Messi's the reason I watch soccer, but like you gotta admit this group is a joke, bro. They're they are managed by Lionel Scaloni. Just like I mentioned with France, he's looking to be the first manager to win multiple World Cups since Vittorio Pozzo in 1934 and 1938 with Italy. So now we move on to why I keep bashing this group, and that's because another team, Algeria, is making their fifth World Cup, uh, first since 2014, where they had their best finish, losing in the round of 16. Algeria is looking to make it out of this group, and besides Argentina, it's anyone's game, honestly. Led by Riyad Mahrez, one of the country's most accomplished players, winning multiple Premier Leagues titles and Champions League with Man City. He brings a decade-long experience to the squad. They are managed by Switzerland manager Vladimir Pekovic. And again, when it comes to these little teams, I know little to none. I did watch Algeria when they were playing in 2014, but foggy memories about that. Again, I was watching Spain. Spain did nothing. So after trying to defend their championship from 2010, so I wasn't that locked into that World Cup. Austria making its impressive eighth appearance, but first this century, like Norway. Austria's best appearance was like in 1954 when they finished in third place. They are led by the most decorated players in their country's history. David Alaba, who has like over 30 trophies with Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. He will anchor the defense for this Austria team. They are managed by veteran European manager Ralph Ragnick. Again, I'm not going to talk much about these teams because the final one in this group, remember, this is the group with Argentina. The final team in this group, Jordan, making their World Cup debut. Oh, and not much is expected of this team. They are led by the first ever Jordanian player in League One history in France, Moussa Al Tamari, a good striker that will look to give his country plenty of scoring chances. They are managed by Jamal Salami. See, I didn't talk much about any of those three teams for good reason. Is this group? Like, oh, like you expect me to pick two teams? I'm gonna pick Argentina twice to advance. Like, okay, I'm a. I'm gonna make the prediction, like, because I said I will, but I'm gonna just predict, obviously, Argentina, and I'm gonna pick Algeria because they're the only ones in this group that have the experience and have moved on before, even though that was in 2014. It's like, come on, bro. So are we serious with that group? Whatever. That's probably the weakest group in World Cup history, by the way. That's probably the weakest I've ever seen. Good on them. I usually the home countries, the host countries get like favorable matchups and favorable um groups. I'd rather Argentina be in like US, Canada, and Mexico's group. But that's beside the point. Anyways, making their ninth appearance with a legend is Portugal, who's never won the tournament. And I don't know if that's a shock for people because they've had again one of the greatest players of this generation for so long. But their best finishes were like in 1966, the 60s were like their best, and 2006 losing in the semis both times. I think they were third place in 1966 and they were fourth place in 2006. But even though Ronaldo, again, along for the ride, reaching the end of his career, I don't think this is a weak Portugal team at all by any means. Even with their goal on his last legs, I do not believe it. They have star PSG midfielder Vitinha, and this is what I mentioned when I mentioned Pedri. He can go for the title for best midfielder in the world. They got Manchester United's Premier League MVP Bruno Fernandes. They got PSG's João Neves. They got Barcelona's Bernardo Silva. They can create so much chaos on attack. They can create, they can assist, they can score with the best of them. This Portugal team is really good. Definitely also have a good defensive line. They got Ruben Diaz. They got Nuno Mendes. They got João Cancelo. And they're managed by Roberto Martinez, who took over in 2023 after 6 years with Belgium. Helped Belgium with that third place finish in 2018. Portugal's a really good team. This group, Group K, there's also only two teams that really can make it out, and it's clear and obvious. Again, what what more can I say? Cristiano Ronaldo. Some people are saying he just cares about getting to that 1,000 goal mark, and he cares more about that than actually winning this tournament. I don't believe that. I believe a tournament this big, if you're willing to participate, you want to win. So I take that with a grain of salt. Now I'm gonna talk about the Republic of Congo, only their second World Cup in history. And honestly, again, one of those teams I don't know much about, but I've seen that they really are looking to demand respect. They're looking to shock the world in this World Cup. They are led by some young guns in Newcastle United's midfielder Yohan Wissa and 21-year-old Sutherland midfielder Noah Sadiki. Congo looks to create long possessions. They look to make clean passes. They're, the only problem for me is where's the goals going to come from? I know they can probably hold the ball for a long time. They could probably be one of the best passing teams in the entire tournament, but where's the finishing going to come from? That's my question for them. They are managed by Sebastian Desabre. I keep messing up names. It's going to keep happening. But this might be a happy to be here team, anyways. And joining that happy to be here team, Uzbekistan, making their World Cup debut. I love it that the tournament's a lot bigger. You're seeing so many teams making their World Cup debut. I know fans are for these teams. They're just happy to be here. They're really happy to be here. I know a lot of them want to win. It's just 48 teams, just veterans, prestige, and just dragons that you gotta face, the demons you gotta face in this tournament. Um, a lot of these teams, I'm just happy to see that they're in here, that they made it for the first time, and there's always a chance, even if it's a 1% chance, it's still a chance. But they did make it out. Uzbekistan did barely make it out of their third round of the AFC qualifier, 2 points behind Iran. But player to watch, they do have an outstanding player to watch from what I know, an elder Shumaradov, Shumaradov, Eldor Shumaradov, who scored an impressive 22 goals and 6 assists for Super League for Istanbul. Really good striker. He knows how to make some noise. Um, and now he'll try to do that in the grand stage. They are managed by Fabio Cannavaro. And now a really good team in Colombia, making their seventh appearance after missing out in 2022. That was unfortunate. But their best finish was losing in the quarterfinals in 2014. Uh, they can make some noise. They are led by Bayern Munich, Luis Diaz, who's having a ridiculous season. Um, he's becoming one of the best in the game, if he's not already the best in the game. And they got a veteran in 2014 World Cup Golden Boot winner, James Rodriguez, who I remember led them to that quarterfinals, and he went on a crazy run. They are managed by Nestor Lorenzo, a former assistant to the team that helped make it to the quarterfinals in 2014. Yeah, in this group, Group K, easily, I got Portugal and Colombia moving on. Experience is there, star power is there. I talked about Portugal star power. Luis Diaz is one of those guys that can just carry his team out of the group stage that I mentioned when I mentioned Norway and other countries. Colombia has what it takes to make it out of this group. Again, not a strong group overall. Uh, Game of this group, I'm gonna say, uh, yeah, I'm gonna say Portugal and Colombia. Obviously, is the game of the group. Um, I didn't say a game of the group for Group J. I do realize that, but why would I pick a game of the group for Group J? Argentina's just gonna wipe the floor with every team. It's like, oh, who's battling for second place? I guess Algeria versus Jordan. I'll watch that one. Algeria versus Jordan. And finally, Group L with England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. So let's talk about England, the inventors of the game, making their 17th appearance in the world stage. Fun fact, even though they invented the game, England didn't take part of the World Cup until 1950. Again, the first World Cup was 1930, won by Uruguay. They missed the first three tournaments due to like disputes with FIFA about amateur pay and having this superiority complex. Honestly, if you want to know more, Google it. It's actually pretty funny that they're just like, we invented the game. Like, we don't need your tournament type. Like, I don't know. That's how it sounded when I read about it. It sounded like that's how they were talking. Like, we don't need you. Like, back off. We invented this stuff. We our league is better than anything you can come up with. But dang, they got humbled real quick, only winning the tournament in 1966. And their history with the tournament is just a mess. Only have gone as far as finishing fourth twice since 1966. But this year can be a lot different for England. Long past the days of the Wayne Rooney era and everything, England is back with like a lot of firepower. They got one of the greatest strikers in the world in Harry Kane, young Arsenal forward Biaka Saka. Yeah, I messed up the name. As well as creative scoring from genius Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham and star Arsenal midfielder Declan Rice, who led them to the UEFA Champions League final. Uh, they got Man City's Phil Foden, so they got like ball handlers and creators all over the pitch. It's gonna be fun to watch. A loaded squad looking to take back what they believe is theirs. No, I'm not saying that about this team that they believe that the World Cup is theirs. It's just like just reading how cocky they were when the World Cup first started. It's like the ancestors of England believe that any trophy belongs to England because they invented the game type thing. Again, I'm not trying to make England sound bad. It's just funny reading that they're like, yo, we're just better. Like we invented this. Why would we need this tournament? And then like only winning the tournament once is insane. But they are managed by Thomas Tuchel, who is no rookie when it comes to big moments and tournaments. He's won the UEFA Champions League with Chelsea in 2021, so he's known for leading championship teams. And he's got a good one in England, honestly. I'm really intrigued with England this year. A lot of years, it's been nothing but disappointment. If it is this year, that would be shocking. But, anyways, Croatia making their seventh appearance. And Croatia, their best appearance was runners up in 2018 World Cup. They look to shock the world again, reclaim the magic that they had in 2018. And Luka Modric is in his last ride as Croatia's all-time leader in appearances, a former Ballon d'Or winner when in an era where no one thought anyone but Messi and Ronaldo were going to win the Ballon d'Or. Uh, he's won multiple Champions Leagues. He's won multiple awards with Real Madrid. It feels like he's done it all. He's had an amazing career. Looking to cap it off with another run in the World Cup like they had again in 2018. Like, I'm not saying this because I don't know if he'll retire this year. There's talks he might join another team, but I know it's definitely his last World Cup. He's 40 years old, so I don't expect him to be in like 2030's World Cup. Either way, they're managed by Zaltko Delic. He's been the manager since 2017. He led them on that magical run in 2018. Let's see if they have any more left again for Modric. They are a good team, but I just want to focus on Modric because had such a great career. So I just wanted to emphasize him. Ghana making their fifth appearance in the last six World Cups. Which one did they miss? I think they missed 2018, maybe. No, probably. I don't remember. But they did miss one since 2006. Their best finish was in 2010, losing in the quarterfinals. They are led by Inaki Williams of Atletico Bilbao and Mohamed Kudus from Tottenham Hotspurs, who scored two goals for them in 2022 and is only 25 years old. Still got a lot of room to get better. They are managed by Otto, who will have his team playing like a tough physical style of football. That's a lot of the African countries. MO is just physical, tough football, make it hard on teams to even dribble the ball. That and I expect Ghana to do the same thing. They're kind of more of a staple in the World Cup out of the African nations, so I would say they're like third best in this tournament, just behind. No, I'll say fourth best African nation in this tournament, just behind Morocco, Senegal. You can put them one or two; it doesn't matter, and Egypt. Um. Anyways, finally, the last team we're going to talk about, Panama, making their second appearance after losing in the group stage in 2018. They missed out in 2022. They joined the happy to be here teams list. Not much to say about them. They are led by Club Leon in Mexico forward Ismael Diaz. They're managed by Thomas Christensen. And honestly, I wish I could say more about this team. I don't know. I don't expect them to to make it far. Their highlights are not going to be long. But all in all, that was all the teams in this World Cup. 48 teams, 12 groups. Oh, part two. Again, the stars of the tournament are all here. And if you miss some of the names, again, main players to watch for me, Kylian Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe of France, Lamine Yamal of Spain, Henry Kane of England, uh, honestly, Erling Haaland of Norway. You could say, honestly, the whole Portugal team is kind of interesting to me. They got a bunch of young players that can help Ronaldo. So Mohamed Salah is another one. Uh, part one. I'm trying to think of the players I mentioned part one. Oh, Luis Diaz of Colombia. I can't forget that. Uh, but yeah, part one didn't have that many names that I wanted to talk about. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess Brazil's Vinny Jr. Um, who Vinny Jr. looking like, if you know basketball, he's like the James Harden, so he needs to shake out of not performing in big matchups. But those are the players to watch. Write them down, list them, watch the schedule. This is gonna be a fun tournament, biggest World Cup of all time. It's been fun talking about the teams, learning about the teams, learning about some of the players that I've never talked about before. Some of the coaches I've know, some of the managers I've never talked about before. Um, and there's a lot of storylines, a lot of uh, teams trying to break out of a messy curse, while some of the successful teams are trying to make successful runs again. Again, the managers of both Argentina and France trying to win multiple World Cups. Spain trying to reclaim its glory. England trying to gain glory that they never had in the sport that they invented. Norway being led by a literal cyborg android. Like, there's a lot to look forward to in this World Cup. And so, if you like that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We got a bunch of other shows on the R2L network. We got the R2L Show with Joe, Dave, and Tomo. We got Baseball with Teddy, who only talks about your baseball topics. So if you love baseball, he's the one to go to. Unfazed with JJ and AJ, NBA NFL debate show. It's kind of, if you like that undisputed and that first take, you'll like that show. In the Red Corner with Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. We got Dave's Doghouse. He shows the lowlights and highlights of sports. Football with Coach Coombs. He does fantasy football talk, helps you with fantasy advice, but he also talks NFL news and stories. Carl talking college. He talks about the NCAA of in football and basketball. Very knowledgeable in those two fronts. And then also Real Ballers Only with Vaughn. That's your NBA talk show. Me, I just talk about the biggest sporting events and news that come up. Excited about the World Cup. Definitely going to talk about it more after the group stage. It's going to be a long group stage. It's going to be a fun summer. So we'll see you then when it comes to World Cup talk, and peace out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.